Now, the context for this is Master Hua was very much in the mold of the lofty monks of the past who, when asked, would advise the rulers towards virtue. And so we had another member of our community, a man named John B. Zhu Bingmin. Dr. Zhu was a fellow Manchurian and a lifelong educator, and from Brown to Gray Davis to Wilson, all of these governors appointed John Zhu to state roles in education. And he was a faculty member at Seton Hall University. And presidents would appoint Dr. John Zhu to federal. He was a member of
he was the Chinese representative to the Republican Party. I mean, he was the man.
Lifelong Republican.
Okay. He was the man that was the conduit to the Chinese American community.
For national, in Washington, D.C.
National state, yes.
So Dr. Zhu had connections to the George H.W. Bush White House. That's George W. Bush's dad. It's 41. H.W. is 41, president. And so he got, when George H.W. Bush was running for president the first time, he came to San Francisco, to Portsmouth Square, which is right down in Chinatown. And Dr. Zhu got Shifu to host officially on the platform, host the president, welcome him to Chinatown. And so we have this photograph of George Bush Sr. standing there with Shifu at the microphone. And Shifu says, through a translator, he said, "I want to tell you that any president who wants to win must not fight, not be greedy, not seek, not be selfish, not want personal advantage, and never tell lies. Any president who can really do that, I guarantee, will win." And so now through the translators and all, it's not sure
that's exactly what came through.
But anyway, Bush did win and thanked Shifu by inviting him to the inaugural banquet in Washington, D.C. And anyway, quite a delegation.
We had a table.
We had a big table, and the way the political payback was, you got to have a cabinet member at your table. So we had the Secretary of Education, who was a very interesting man. Anyway, so George runs again against Bill Clinton. George, as you recall, was a one-term president, and so Shifu says, "Well, John," he says, "take a letter." He says, "I'll send this letter to President Bush, who's running for re-election." Shifu? He says, you find out the address and you take this down. I'll tell you what to write. So I'm sitting there. This is at ITI in Burlingame, and I have the phone on my finger on the Selectric typewriter, and I'm typing away. And he says, "Tell President Bush that if he can give up his salary, he'll be sure to be elected." I said, "Shifu?" He said, "Yes, tell him that give up his salary. And if he can give his salary to the people, and everybody realizes that the president forwent his salary on behalf of the people, then that kind of virtue and unselfishness will definitely get him elected." So I typed now, "Dear President Bush, we would like you to know that Master Shenhua says that if you can give up your salary and not accept a penny, that you're governing because of virtue, because you need to lead the country this way, you will be sure to be reelected. Signed, Secretary." So the letter went. Dr. Zhu carried it made sure that he got the letter, and comes the election, and of course Bush lost. We didn't hear the outcome. Dr. Zhu comes back, and so Shifu says, "Hey, Zhu Bimin, 怎么样啊? What happened?" And Zhu says, "Well," he says, I think the president was willing to do it, but Barbara said no." The president's wife vetoed it. She was much more practical. I think she thought they wouldn't make a living or something, so it didn't work, and he lost. Yeah. Oh, wow. So that's interesting how, monks do, in fact, give an opportunity to the leaders of the country to plant blessings and to use wisdom. Whether or not they take it. Historically in China, the emperor sometimes did, sometimes didn't.
所以我在这个戊戌总统他竞选的时候，我说呀，这个美国是世界一个大国，这个大国俺们住在这个大国的领土上，俺们也有权利呀，帮助这一个大国令他选出一个既聪明又有智慧的总统。那么这个总统当他发正私人，爱护老百姓，能以不是单单为美国谋幸福，要为全世界的全人类来谋幸福。所以这一个总统一定要先不争不贪不求不自私不自利不达妄语，谁能这个样子，谁就是美国最好的最适当的人选能做总统。这是这个我对这个美国总统竞选的时候说的话。那么这个话也可以告诉全世界，哪一个国家是政府的当局者，这个有力量的人都能不争不贪不求不自私不自利不达妄语不欺骗老百姓。我不相信呢，有任何的那么愚痴的人他会反对这样的领袖，我不相信的。所以我现在要对全世界各国的领袖提议，你们哪一个国家的当局有力者，你能把自己的财产都拿出来给老百姓这真是共产，这真是为老百姓谋幸福的。我相信你要能这个样子，老百姓绝对不会烦你的，你哪个国家都算上在这个政府的官员能以尽义务对老百姓这个热心服务，自己不要钱吃的也不要吃好的，穿的也不要穿好的，住的更应该简陋一点，也不要汽车，也不要洋房，也不要特权的阶级。你要真能这个样子，那是这个大同世界。所谓大道之行也，天下为公，故人不独亲其亲，不独子其子，使老有所终，壮有所用，幼有所长，精寡孤独废疾者皆有所养。你要能这样子，到哪一个国家老百姓不会反对你。